What's going on, investors? My name's Jason, and in today's episode, I want to do a little preview for the upcoming Sofi earnings. They're not this Monday, but the following Monday, coming out pre-market, which is a good sign in my opinion. I want to break down what Wall Street is thinking they're going to do in EPS, how much revenue they're going to do, and if they're in line with my consensus estimates. We'll see what's happening, but first, if you guys could hit that like button and subscribe to the channel, it would mean a lot to me. We're almost at 600 subs. We're about halfway there with our monetization hours, and it's all because of you guys tuning into these videos. I really appreciate you guys. So let's get into it. All right, SoFi fam, let's take a look at earningswhisper.com. It's a great website that kind of gives you some earnings insight about what Wall Street's thinking. You can pay to get upgrades to get all these kind of locked stuff, but we're just looking at right here on the screen where it says Earnings Whisper. The date is Monday, April 29th, when the earnings are coming out. Not next Monday, but the following Monday. So the consensus is around 1 cent of EPS. Anthony Noto and his team said they were going to do around 8 cents of EPS for the year. So if you break that down quarterly, that's about 2 cents of EPS per quarter. And they usually underestimate their yearly projections. So I wouldn't be surprised if we go to 2 cents or possibly even 3 cents. When we issued those senior notes, we revamped some high interest rate debt. So that's going to save us between 10 and $15 million per quarter. So that's already going to give us a boost for our EPS numbers. And we really want to maintain profitability so we can eventually be included in the S&P 500. We need 4 consecutive quarters of profitability. We got 1 in the bag. 3 more to go. Hopefully after next Monday, that'll be 2 in the bag, and we'll be halfway till we get in the S&P 500, which would be huge. So institutional ownership is one of the things that's holding SoFi back. We're in between that 35 to 37% range, depending on when you check. But if we get in the S&P 500, we're going to go past 40% and work our way towards 50%. Anything over 50% is where we want to be for institutional ownership for SoFi to make a big push. All right, their revenue projections are around $570 million. So right now, I'm going to bring you to a chart that shows you everything we need to know going into this earnings report. Right here in the middle of our screen, that's last quarter. That's Q4 of 2023. So year over year change for revenue up 36%. Year over year operating expenses up 12%. Not something we necessarily like. The number's not huge, but it's not great either. The net income was up over 200%, which is great. Net profit margin almost 200%. That is great too. And if we look quarterly, we see each and every quarter adding to the revenue. We had a big jump from the September 23 numbers to the December 2023 numbers. We went from $515 million in revenue to $603 million in revenue. And look, we had some serious costs and losses in that quarter, Q3 of 2023. We lost almost $250 million, but then boom, we made $50 million almost on the bottom line with that consistent increase in revenue. So we did 603. Earnings Whisper says 570. I find it hard to believe that we're going to regress in revenue. I don't necessarily see that happening, right? So we did $603 million in revenue last quarter. They're projecting $570. My estimates is $625 million. We'll see if we get to my estimates or not. We've increased 5 consecutive quarters in a row. This one to this one, 20 million. This one to this one, another 20 million. 485 to 515, another 30 million, 515 to 600. That's almost an $80 million increase in revenue. I just don't think SoFi is at that point where we're going to start seeing numbers decrease in revenue. That would be a huge red flag, and the stock would seriously get punished if we do less revenue this quarter as opposed to last quarter. We want to see that number incrementally increasing. So they're increasing between 20 and 30 million every quarter on average. So I think that 625 number is achievable in my opinion. I think we'll do 2 cents of EPS, that's what I'm estimating, and 620 million in revenue. Hopefully we can hit those numbers. Anthony Noto and his team is doing everything they can to reallocate capital by buying back that bad debt, which was great. He was saying some debt was at 7.5% and another 500 million was, I think it was 750 million actually, was at 12%. That could go up to 15% in May if they didn't buy it back. So they're giving out those notes at 1.5%. That's a huge difference in interest payments. And I think SoFi is slowly but surely going to gain more and more profitability. Net income was 47 million. I want to see it over 60 to 70 million this quarter. That's what I'm hoping for. So, bottom line, I want to see in that 60 to 65 million dollars in net income. Revenue, I want to see in that 620 to 625 range. They're estimating 570. So if we can even do 600, which would be right in line with what we did last quarter, that would be a big beat on revenue estimates. They're estimating 1 cent in EPS. I think we can do 2 cents because Anthony Noto projected 8 over the year. So we got to do 2 cents in EPS each quarter to hit those numbers. I think we'll do that for the longevity of this year. I think we can do over 2% each and every quarter. Let me know in the comments below. Do you think SoFi can beat the $570 million that they're projecting in revenue and the 1 cent consensus estimate in EPS? I think we can. If Anthony Noto and his team are doing a Monday morning earnings call before market opens, that to me shows confidence. If it was a crappy earnings call, they would do it later in the week and they would do it after hours. If they can do it early in the early part of the week and before market opens, I think that bodes confidence for shareholders. I think they're going to have some good news for us in this earnings report. My predictions are 620 million in revenue, 2 cents in EPS, and 60 million in net income. Let's see if we can hit those numbers. Thanks so much for tuning in. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We're getting closer and closer to the 1,000 subs we need. With all your guys' help, I appreciate you tuning in. Thank you so much. Peace.